It's your daily dose of the gospel. Let's get it. Galatians chapter 2, verse 20, 21. For I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me. This life I now live, I live by the faith in the Son of God, who died and gave himself for me. But I do not serve the grace of God. For if righteousness come through the law, Christ died in vain. Oh, what's Paul telling us there, man? You read the entirety of Galatians chapter 2, you're going to see him go back and forth between circumcision is not a requirement, but there's ways we should act as believers. He says, is it just because we were saved by grace, does that make Christ a promoter of sin? Absolutely not. But then he tells Peter, you as a Jew who live as a Gentile, how can you convince people to live as Jews? Peter was sliding back into more ways. So while there is a requirement on us to be teachers of the gospel, fishers of men, there's not a requirement on salvation. You cannot read one chapter in the Word of God from start to finish and determine something else. You can jump around. You can bounce all around. Christ is not a promoter of sin. He demands holiness. So on and so forth. You can jump around. But one chapter front to back, those points will all get covered. Salvation by grace and grace alone, or Christ died for nothing, or Christ went to the cross for absolutely no reasons, what Paul said. Argue with Paul, not me.